Hi, my name is Stuart Weems and welcome to the Investopoly podcast. My goal is to give you easy understand, evidence-based holistic insights to help you master the game of building wealth. And if you have been a regular listener to this podcast, you will know on the regular Wednesday episodes, I talk about the theories, methodologies and principles associated with making really good financial decisions. The aim of these case study episodes is to walk you through how it's all worked out for some of my clients to give you a bit of a taste or a flavour for if you employ the same approach, how it might work out for you. And in today's episode, I'd like to talk about some clients that we've been working with for about 9 years and that they're well and truly on the road to having the flexibility to retire earlier, let's say mid-50s. And I thought, but their net wealth has changed a lot over the last 10 years. So 10 years ago, it was about $420,000. At the moment, it's about $2.5 million. So more than 5 times their net worth over the last 10 years. So pretty successful. What I wanted to do is just lay out, what have they done, like in terms of over that last 9 years of working together, how do they get to where they are? And then, as I usually do, just share some key insights and learnings, I guess, from their particular case study. So as I said, 10 years ago, their net worth was $420,000, and that consisted of a couple of $100,000 of super and about $220,000 of equity in their family home at the time. And so, we were starting really from a clean sheet of paper in regards to sort of investment assets. And their incomes at the time were relatively modest-ish, I guess. One spouse was on about $140,000 and the other spouse about $85,000 approximately. Now, their income has changed a lot over the last 9 years of working together, but that obviously was our starting base. For the first thing we did is purchased an investment grade apartment in 2016. So we started working together in 2015. 2016 purchased an investment grade apartment for almost $490,000. And then, we focused on debt reduction, building equity in home and so forth, because the goal was to buy a house, an investment grade house, as soon as we possibly could. And the client was very good at managing cash flow. His income started to increase. His wife's income didn't increase as much because they had young kids at the time, so she wasn't necessarily working full time. And we scrimped, saved, and really tried to maximize borrowing capacity as much as possible. And beginning of 2019, we purchased a house in Brisbane for $885,000. I just recently wrote a blog where I hosted a seminar in my office where I talked about at the end of 2018, and so it would have been off the back of that, I think, that sort of conversation, where I spoke about, how I thought Brisbane was going to really explode. And so, he benefited from that sort of insight and advice, I guess. And so, as I said, 8.5 he bought for. That property is now worth well north of $1.4 million. And because they got themselves into, made some really smart decisions, in 2022, they upgraded their family home. And really since 2022, they've spent repaying the additional debt as a result of that home upgrade, which wouldn't have been possible if they didn't have equity in other properties such as the Brisbane property. Now, as I said, as they've grown in their careers, their income has substantially increased as well. So in 2017, their family income was about $270,000. Today, it's about $570,000. Now, but that increase has really only materialized over the last 2 to 3 years, which has helped them, aggressively reduce that non-tax deductible debt, of course. And they have a portfolio of shares, about $220,000. They've just been buying ETFs on a regular basis and, obviously with our advice, of course. So it hasn't been a major focus until now, but it's really just been over time, little bits here and there. Pick the right ETFs, make sure there's a good sort of investment strategy behind it. And before you know it, you've got a couple of $100,000 in the share market working hard for you. And so the next step for these clients that we're talking to them about at the moment is building what I'd like to refer to, and I have in this podcast previously, referred to as a third super fund. So obviously they're contributing to super. Super's doing well. Their net worth has appreciated substantially, but now because they've got a high income, they've got a higher amount of cash flow as well. And so of course we could add another investment property if we wanted to, and we might down the track. But I think at this stage, it's really about building a pool of liquid assets that are going to allow them to retire early. An early retirement for them is mid-50s, so they can't access super until 60, so obviously that's not going to help them in terms of early retirement. They're sort of in their mid-40s at the moment, so a really time horizon of about sort sort of 10 years. And so in 10 years' time, those investment properties will be probably positive cash flow. We don't necessarily need them to be generating heaps of positive cash flow, but at least just a little bit, I guess. But mainly what we want then is a pool of liquid assets that we can either enjoy the income stream from or sell down and fund living expenses at that point in time. Chances are they're probably going to continue working, maybe not 5 days a week, maybe in different roles on different incomes, but my gut feeling is they will continue to work. Anyway, the thing that we're talking with them at the moment, now that, non-tax deductible debt is under control, they don't have a lot relative to asset values left of that. They've implemented 2 really good quality investment property purchases. We're probably now going to start thinking about investing in a company or trust to build that liquid asset portfolio, that third super fund, if you like. And then that's how we're going to fund early retirement in their mid-50s, by drawing income stream from that investment pool, knowing that the property, as I said, won't require any cash flow contribution from us at that point in time. Okay, so let's reflect then on, what have they done well and how has it worked out for them? How do they get from 400,000 to 2.5 million in a relatively short period of time? Well, the first thing is, I would say, is that they've been really focused on measurement, measuring net worth, cash flow, all those sorts of things, from a type of client that really likes to keep on top of things. Now, sometimes those sorts of people like to try and do it all themselves as well, but with this client, it's been different. They've followed all the advice that we've given them. So I guess it's been a bit of a joint effort. They put a lot of effort into making sure they're getting ahead financially, making sure they're not wasting money, making sure that their asset value is moving forward. Every couple of months you'll look at it, but also knowing that they don't know what they don't know and that they need to take advice. So I think that's worked a perfect balance between us and them. We've made some really good decisions, but we wouldn't have been able to make those really good decisions if they weren't so proactive and they weren't so good at managing cash flow. The other observation is, I guess our approach or decision making has changed a lot over the last 10 years, really in line with income, how that has changed. And we've never banked on income changing substantially. What we've really done is just made the best long-term decision that we can make based on the numbers that we know today. And obviously their income has changed a lot, particularly in the last 2 or 3 years, as I said, and their lifestyle has improved as a result of that as well. So it hasn't all gone towards building assets. As I said, they've upgraded their family home, go on holidays, caravan, those sorts of things. So they have allocated some money to obviously improving their standard of living, which I encourage. You can't just put it all towards making more and more money. But as their income has grown and their borrowing capacity has grown, we've then expanded, I guess, our investment horizons and opportunities. And the advice piece has kind of grown with that as well. Reflecting back on it and preparing for these case study episodes, I'm getting quite a lot out of it personally, because it's great to reflect back. I can't believe we've been working together for 9 years already, firstly. And it's great to reflect back on the performance over that time and kind of where they were 9 years ago, where they are today, and where I project that they'll be in 10 years from now, which is a hugely, substantially better off financial position, because we'll continue working together and making really good quality decisions. So they are well on the road to a very comfortable and early retirement. Okay, that's it for today's case study episode. As always, if you think other people might benefit from listening to these case study episodes, please share them. If you know anyone that will get some value from it. The more that learn, the more the merrier, of course. And until tomorrow, bye for now.